All sports media, Wednesday Sports Talk. Uh, I would say hosted by Edward Hall, but again, I'm going to use Allie's term. Edward's going to go ghost on us for about 15 minutes. The show's going to be half over by the time he comes, and then he's going to gripe at me and Allie like we didn't do it good enough for him. And but it's the Wednesday Sports Talk Show brought to you by Bryant Family Medicine, All Sports Media. I am not Edward Hall. I'm like the co-host Mark Gregory, and I am doing fine because Edward should be asking me how I'm doing. I'd be like, Edward, I am doing just fine. I'm drinking
How
my
you doing,
coffee.
Mark?
But well, thank you,
Um,
Edward. I'm doing just fine, Edward. And then he's supposed to ask Allie how she's doing.
Allie, how you doing?
I'm great.
Okay, so we're both doing good, but uh, Edward's doing this stuff. We say it every week. We don't have to keep explaining it, but he's tagging and sharing and doing everything he can possibly to get this show out to as many people as possible. But while we're waiting for Edward, Allie, you want to? We want. I guess we'll go in there and give a big shout out to our sponsors. A big thank you to our sponsors. But we cannot say enough about Bright Family Medicine and all that they did for us. And we got two little pretty little logos that Edward made up there for them. And they've been our corporate sponsor and reached out to us on several occasions about the Bright Family Medicine Player of the Game Awards. And that's been a booming success to be able to come to some of these local high schools and hand out a Player of the Game award. And if you're Allie there, you've got like grid of half walls of awards and plaques and trophies. You would just have to like wedge that in there. But I'm sure Allie would love to have one of them Bryant Family Medicine player. Yeah, she would. Allie, would that have made you happy if me or Edward was presenting you the Bryant Family Medicine Player of the Game award?
I mean, yeah, I've got a bunch of awards that's been handed to me, so
Okay,
I
see,
mean,
but
it's made me feel good.
you'd especially like the Bryant Family Medicine one, right? Because you'd have
Yeah.
had me or Edward handed it to you, or Ryan. You know, Ryan. He's like Ryan's like a rock star. When he just comes to town when he wants to come to town. Everybody's used to seeing me and Edward. They're like, it's Mark and Edward again. But then when Ryan comes to town, you could almost hear the cheers. And it's like Ryan is in the building, folks, and signing autographs, shaking hands. You think he's running for president, but that's what Ryan does. But let's also thank our other sponsor and Heather Heather Martinez Realtor. And again, if you're in the market for buying or selling a home, she is a person to go and talk to. And I personally know her. She's a great person, and she came to us, folks, and we didn't ask her. She said, "What can I do to help?" And she didn't want out in the forefront. It's like, well, if you're going to help us, let's at least talk talk you up a little bit. Let's make you a graph. Let's do something for you. And she agreed, and we've been begging her too, just like Dave on Bright Family Medicine, like, give us a commercial. We need a commercial. We need a commercial to run to look all professional. And now since we got the sponsors over, I'll let the man of the hour take over. And he is back.
Well, I'm partially back,
I can keep
but
rattling. I can keep rattling.
yeah, well, we're used to you rattling. That's a always a always happening event. But while we're waiting on our first guest to come on, I did hear you talk about some of the plaques, and I think it has been a booming success to go to all the schools that we've got to go to hand out, the plaques that we've got to hand out. We've still got, you know, some more plaques to go. So you never know when you're going to see us show up or where we're going to show up at. But, it's all about promoting the student athletes and trying to find a big fancy word, but none of them's coming to mind.
I'm pulling up in my old rusted Ford truck, and you're pulled up in your van. But when Ryan pulls up, it's one of these stretch limousines, and somebody comes and opens the door, and he's got about 12 people flashing pictures and him pointing and shaking hands. So one of these days we'll get Ryan's level there.
Mark, I don't think he pulls up in a limo, but he
It did sound
pulls
pretty good.
up.
It did sound pretty good.
It did sound pretty good, but I think that's Allie pulling up in a stretch limo.
And she probably has people, that where the dress is so long, hold the back of the dress to make sure it don't scoot across the concrete.
No, I just show up and nobody knows who I am, so I just get to kind of get intel and get to figure things out.
So, Allie, what you're saying, you're at the table saying, "Hey, I'm with Fall Sports here. Let me in here." I mean, like, see,
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Most people do know me anyways that are like high schools around here, so I just get in anyways.
But you don't have that problem when it's Ryan. They just automatically let him in.
It's because he
All
looks like a
right,
high
well,
schooler.
true. But are y'all ready for our first guest?
We are ready.
Well, we'll go ahead and bring him on. We'll bring on the man of the hour. Hayden, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing a lot better now that I don't have to listen to Mark ramble on no more. So, but Mark, Allie, either one of y'all want to start with a few questions?
I'll let Allie go first, so she'll say I didn't steal her questions.
Okay. So, Hayden, you're a senior, right? Are you a senior this year?
Say what?
Are you a
Yes.
senior? How's it been having this be one of your final seasons being a senior?
It kind of makes me upset that it's going to be my final year playing for Bell High because I've done so much in 5 years of playing and being able to go to the state championship last year and hopefully going again. It'll be a little bit upsetting.
Yeah, even though it's been your senior season, what's been one of your favorite moments of the year?
So far this year is probably after we had a real close game with Boyd County. We came back and defensively won the game. That's probably one of my
Is my internet? Okay, there he is.
Mark, go ahead.
Damn or no, we've had you on this show a couple times and interviewed you, and you've always been a great interview. And one of the personally thank you for coming on, listening to us again. I know you got bigger things to take care of, especially being your senior year. And just on a personal note, you're going to be one I'm going to miss. I mean, I've always loved talking to you. You've always been just great to us and super to us, and you've always let your talking you do your talking on the field for sure, and absolutely love that little Burnett going around the side, that little pull out, the tight end down the middle, and you dragging about 25 players down the field. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. Some of them plays, yeah, but I wouldn't want to try to get on their tackle. But just harping a little bit about what Allie was talking about, just thoughts of your season at this point.
I just hope I'd like to win us another regional championship, then win the semi, and then go back to Kroger Field. That's the main goal right now. And you can ask anybody on the team, that's our main goal, is go back to Kroger.
Absolutely. And anybody that knows a Dudley Hilton coach team, it's all about team too. It's all about all of you, and it's not just one. But uh, I'm gonna go back in reverse. So we talked to Caleb there Sunday night. Talk a little bit about the Rock Castle County game. Do you feel like maybe just like one of them old fashioned smash mouth type games, maybe your body blows in the second half, so it slowly started wearing them down a little bit?
Yeah, we all week. Our middle linebacker Blake Evans, his main goal was to make sure we go and smack them in the mouth because coach told us all week they went back to that smash mouth football they've done for years, and we're the, as Coach Hilton would call it, we're the starters of the smash mouth football. So we just thought we'd go out, if we smack them harder than they would, then we'd go out with a win, and it turned out that way.
Yeah, it was definitely a radical difference when I saw it. I mean, because last year they had the spread offense, the four
Yep.
wide receiver sets, and then here all of a sudden they're sitting there trying to mock ends running that wishbone. I'm like, why are you doing it here, fellers?
Yeah.
You're not going to beat a team that's did this for years. You're not going to beat them at their own game, especially Dudley Hilton.
Yeah.
Dudley, I'm sure Dudley was just sitting there on the sideline. Oh, okay, I can see him right now, but
Yep.
yeah, no, we know what the ultimate goal. You spoke about it a couple times already. I mean, and the improvements there from the first game of the year to what you are now, and that's a big win for Yuns Friday night, RPI purpose wise. And I
Yep.
still say, and I know you're all about one game at a time, and I'm sure the coaches up there tell you one game at a time. You got a hard one Friday night against Sock Central.
Yep.
There's no rest weeks or whatever. But I believe if everything plays out and Indians win out, I think it's right there one or two at the end of the year in RPI, which is mean basically they're going to have to come to Log Mountain, and
Yeah.
there's not many teams that's wanting to come to Log Mountain and play it.
Right.
So to get that ultimate goal, I mean, what is it going to take?
It's just going to take number one thing in football, and that's just teamwork. It ain't no one player thing or anything like that. It just have to be just everybody come as a team, get to work, watch the film, hit the weights, and listen to Coach Hilton and all the other coaches.
Talking about the weights, and before I let Ever take over, and I tell everybody, you personally and Blake and Caleb, yous are different. Yous, I'm sure there's a bunch of others on your team. You can tell that yous put the work in the weight room. I've seen the videos of what you've been benching and deadlifting and stuff like that, and that's not the norm for this area. And it shows in these games because it just seems like it's just like you said, smash mouth football and that strength, that power, it just wears on teams and I see it each and every week. And I like where you are going right now, and I think you can very much so be up there at Kroger Field again. We was at the press boxes. I'll tell you one more quick story before Edward takes over. We was surrounded by Louisville press,
Yeah.
and when Yins held that ball the whole quarter on them, the first quarter, they didn't know what hit them. Even the press members was like, this had never happened to them, and they had never seen nothing like that. I'll never forget. And Everett had a really really good photo. One of the Christian Academy guys going like what do we do, coach? What do we, they didn't even know what hit them. But just keep on keeping on, Everett.
Oh, first off, I do want to thank you for taking the time to come on and listen to us ramble a little bit. But I got to ask you, this being your senior year, are you going to miss the hill?
Yeah, I've grew up on that hill. I've had my uncle who's played back in '08 for Coach Hilton win a state championship, and I've went to it last year. So just being able to keep that tradition going, it's going to be upsetting coming senior night and playoffs, and hopefully if we get a big win at Kroger, it'll be upsetting.
So I got to kind of ask you the same question that I've asked a lot of who gets up the hill the quickest?
I'd say the quickest would probably be either me or Caleb Miller or Blake Burnett or Josh Owens. It's just whoever's hungry the most and wants to get that extra work in. It's just all up to you.
does every now and then one of you, like if you see Blake getting in front of you a little bit, are you tempted to like pull him down, like so
Oh
then you
yeah, I'll get in front of Blake Evans and I'll pull him down, or I help him up, or one of the linemen I'll push him up.
I know
I,
if I was in front of Allie going up down that hill, she would definitely pull me in the back of my shirt and drag me back down the hill. She would not let me beat her. Yeah.
so I've got to cover you quite a few times over the years here. So I'm gonna have to ask you, out of the time playing, how many people has ran away from you tackling them?
If you notice a few times, a bunch of players, if they try to run a sweep, they won't try to run it outside. They'll try to bounce it back inside, and when they do, you'll have big Blake Evans or Josh Owens come and hit them. But if they do try to sweep it, I'll be there. Then cornerback Caden Huff, he'll come and just knock them out like he did last week at Rockcastle.
Because I mean, I know I've seen you in them pads. I believe I would have to take a knee myself. I mean, that's a whole lot of hitting coming in right there.
Yeah.
But I am looking at your stats here. I mean, you've got, from what I'm seeing right now, you've forced a fumble, recovered a fumble. You've got multiple sacks on the season, knocking right at 40 total tackles. So what all did you do in the off season to be able to be at the point you're at?
Just over the whole summer, after dead period and before, we all went up to our belt high in the mornings, and we'd do the 7-on-7s, and we'd hit the weights real hard. It was the number one thing, was hitting the weights, and then we'd go on the field and try to get faster and work on techniques.
So, speaking of weights, I think Mark hit on it a little bit. I've seen some of them videos too. So, are you bench pressing a truck yet? I mean, some of them weights you're putting on looks like they're about as much as a truck.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I'm getting up there, but
I mean, yeah, getting up there. I mean, I think it's an understatement. I mean, you're way up there from what some of them I've seen. But Allie, Mark,
Allie.
Mark.
Okay. I've got to ask you, this is non-football related at all, but when you're talking, I'm going to get back into the weights again. You and Blake and Caleb, and I might be missing a few more there. You might want to refresh me, but yins are not shaped normal for this area. I mean, yins all look like professional bodybuilders, and I'm a big old guy, but yins make my arms look a little small at times, and I'm not trying to start a World War III in the locker room, but if you ever have a arm wrestling competition, let men ever come and cover that, because I could see that being like over the top style. I could see it really getting at it.
I'll give you a call when that happens.
Yeah, that should be like a pay-per-view event. You and Blake or you and Caleb, just yeah. But wait after football season.
Yeah.
Yeah, coach would probably kill us if you'd pull something, trying to, yeah. Wait till after football season, but that would be it. But the hard work is showing right now, Dameron, and we've had you on the show. We've covered you for many years now. You're not old. You've got the next chapter after Bell High, and but the improvement's there. And if I was running a sweep, I wouldn't run against you either. I know you're going to lower the boom on people, and people see that on tape. And when you're on your side of the field, you and Huff, and people see that, and it sort of makes the offense say, "Hey, let's try on the other side." So you're basically shutting down a half of a side of a field, and that really makes defensive, the defensive coaches are saying, "Thank you, Dameron. You're making their jobs a whole lot more easier over there." And so I'm sure that but you've got good players all over the field. That shows that. I think there's a real opportunity here, and I think it's to get right back up there to the carpet and just keep on keeping on.
Yep.
So, looking at your schedule, you've played a lot of, I'm gonna say, like the bigger schools, like the 4A's, 5A's, stuff like that. How does playing them bigger schools help you when it comes like district time?
Well, it just helps because you're playing these big 4 and 5A powerhouses like North Laurel and Perry and just all them big schools, and then you go down to play one of these big 3A schools. Like when we played East Carter, they were just as good as in 4 and 5A schools, and that'll just help you. And then especially in state championship, you're playing Christian Academy Louisville, and they're about like a 6A school in 3A, and that just helps you overall.
So I got one more question for you. This is probably one of my favorite questions I always asked. Before the season got started, was there a certain team that you had highlighted that you couldn't wait to play against the most?
Oh, that's easy. That was probably Rockcastle because they beat us up there at Log Mountain, and they ain't beat us up there in a long time. And then that just messed up our playoffs and all that. And then just Rockcastle, and then definitely Knox this week. We're taking them two serious, and we take every game serious, but mainly Knox and Rock.
So that I've been at both Bell playing Rockcastle and Knox Central. Which one do you think would have the more like intense atmosphere?
I don't know. Last week at Rock, that's the most packed I've ever seen Rockcastle. They brought the whole city down there, so yeah, probably Rock.
I can see that. You know, it's one of the biggest rivals around here. So,
Yeah.
But before I let you go, I do tend to put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that comes on, and that's kind of our way of saying thank you for taking your time to come on and listen to us. And after the show, I will send them to you and post them on our pages. But we just kind of want to get your thoughts on which one you like the most.
Oh, that one's tough. I like that one. That's tough. Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Those are nice.
I do appreciate it. Is there one that you think might be a little bit better than the other? Or?
I like that first one.
Original's better,
See?
Mark.
Original's always better, Mark. but you know, I have to I have to thank you again. And you know, from everything that I've seen, you're killing it. Your team's killing it. So you all do definitely have the opportunity to be right back up there at Kroger's again. And you know, thank you for taking the time. And Mark, Allie, you got anything else for him?
Just keep it rolling.
Good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Well, he sure do appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Did Edward freeze up?
No, I didn't freeze up. I'm getting ready to bring on the next guest. I said, "Was you ready?"
It looks
We're
like
ready.
you freeze. It looks like you got a freeze.
It did look like you froze up.
Mark, quit put too much creamer in your coffee.
Actually, my coffee's about empty.
You just got that like 10 minutes ago.
Gotta keep the coffee sweet.
First off, thank you for taking the time to come on, and I'm sorry you've had to deal with Mark a time or two before. You know, I have to apologize.
That's okay.
But Mark, Allie, y'all want to start off?
Allie, I'll let you go first so you don't say I'm taking your question.
It's always gonna be me first, ain't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You are a senior, right?
Yes.
What's been your favorite part about the senior season?
About senior season, I think kind of getting to be a leader and to be around a lot of the younger girls and like teach them different things and give them advice and just kind of come to them, you know, inside and outside of volleyball. That's probably my favorite part about being a senior.
Oh, I know it's been a senior season, so there's a lot of moments that you probably really cherished and stuff, but what's been one of your favorite moments through the years?
Through the years, well, winning district and region was obviously a great moment. My favorite moment was probably that's a hard question.
You're fine.
I loved being at the beach the past 2 summers with everyone. We stayed in a hotel room with my 3 closest friends and just being together and having a good time playing a lot of volleyball, but then having those days off where we're just all together and just have a good time.
Mark, go for it.
It is before us, Kira. Am I pronouncing that right? Okay, I'm just
Yeah, that's
making
right.
sure. I believe I was right. I'm just double checking. But
Yeah.
Kira, let's be doing what we do. We know that there was a big changeover from last year to this year. I believe
Yeah.
7 seniors from last year's team. Did that feel like that put added pressure on you to put you personally and the other 2 seniors? I believe there's 3 seniors this year. Did
Yeah.
you feel like you had added pressure to say, "Hey, we got to keep this going"?
I feel like we all knew that there were big shoes to fill, and we do feel pressure, like in terms of getting a three-peat and winning the championships again. But like nobody really brings it up.
Yeah.
Last year's team, we know they were successful. They made history, and we respect them because of that. But we know that we are our own team, and we're good at certain things. So we just try to focus on that rather than the pressure.
So I mean, at this point, and I believe you've got 3 more games if I'm right on this, and I believe your record I think is 17-7. I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
But do you feel like there where you need to be at this point? Because I've watched you early on in the season, I've watched you toward the middle, and I've watched you pretty recently. I've seen drastic improvement with you. So do you feel like you're where you need to be at this point in time?
Well, there's always, we can always go up, but I think we have came a long way, especially with like our mental game and our confidence. But there's always room to improve. But we are playing at a really high level right now, and I think we're all happy with that. But we're all still focused in and ready to get better.
You're a really, really, really good athlete. Anybody that's watched you could honestly see that. But
Thank you.
but there's another side I see, and you're really smart and educated
Thank you.
young female. I mean, what's the next? Of course, high school's dwindling down a little bit. So what's the next chapter in your life?
I'm definitely gonna go to college. Right now, I'm thinking about being a physician's assistant. I'm not sure where I'm going to go to college yet, but that's definitely the next step for me. And probably something in the medical field, but I'm really thinking about a PA.
Well, if you do the medical field, I'm getting older. Just let me know where your doctor's office is at. I would
Yeah.
definitely trust you for
Yeah.
sure. But anybody that knows you, and I've talked to some people around the Whitley County family, and there's like you got to bring her on. You got to bring her on, and I can see that right now. Your maturity, you're light years ahead of me when I was your age. So
Thank you.
just keep on keeping up. I know the season ain't over yet, so we'll get back in volleyball. And I think your next matchup's against South Laurel. I guess I should do my homework. Have you played them any this year?
We played them at home, yeah, and then we play
Okay.
at South Laurel tomorrow.
Okay. So you probably had time to look at them and know them pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
But before I let you go, I love them to death, but you got to tell me about Coach Halcom. You don't have to tell me something that might get you in trouble, get you running laps or anything, but just tell me what he has meant to you on not just your sports side of things, but it's making you develop into the person you are today.
Well, Coach Halcom's really good about like being our coach and being an authority, but we know that, like, I know I could come to him about anything. And he really, like, we try to do weekly devotions, and he's really focused on our faith and, just making us better people. And he's just super mellow and doesn't really, get hateful with us a lot. And that helps us, just trust him a lot more. And we all love him, not just as a coach, but we call him Papaw, actually.
So,
So
so,
the whole
so,
team just calls
so
him
he
Papaw.
allows you to. So he allows you to call him Papaw.
Yeah, that's his name. Does we call him Papaw?
Well, next time I see it, I'm gonna try to get that in on him. So,
Okay.
yeah, I wonder how that work out to me. But sorry, Coach. I hope he's probably listening. Go ahead.
He'll be okay. He knows I love him.
So I have been sitting here looking at your schedule that you had played this season.
Hmm.
So the caliber of teams you played, how does that help you when it comes time to playing like your district teams?
So we've had a lot of tough teams on the schedule, and hard teams are hard to beat. Like, we've taken some losses to Montgomery County is a good example. They're a great team, and it was a really hard game to play, but that just prepares us for when we play hard teams around here like Corbin. It just helps us get prepared, and Coach Halcomb sometimes calls it a glorified practice because, we're really there. We're obviously there to win, but even if we don't win, we get something out of it because they're such good teams.
So this next question is normally a Mark question. I'm disappointed he didn't ask it already. You know, when we talk to players in the sport of volleyball, there's always a word that comes up called bonk. So is there anybody on your team that you wouldn't hit with the volleyball, or you would either one?
Kind of depends on the day for me.
She, what she's
No,
saying, she's in
there
a
are some,
bad mood. She'd bonk anybody. It's like, get out of my way, sort of deal.
but
That's what she's sort of saying.
anybody on the team will tell you that I can have an attitude and I can be sassy, but
See, I
I
knew
feel like
that. I
I'm
knew that.
everyone's friend at the same time. Like, anyone could talk to me about anything.
Well, that's kind of the best way to be. So I'm gonna have to ask you. You know, on the court when you're playing, are you a trash talker, or do you like let your game do the talking? Because if it's me, I'm gonna pull the net down, make sure I hit Mark with the ball, and then I'm gonna
Uh,
trip him, probably go over and kick him.
He would probably even hit the rep and then try to blame it on me or something.
Me and Edward would both be doing that. Don't worry.
well, I can't say I've ever actually like talk crap to someone, but I definitely have some thoughts while I'm playing. But I struggle with the mental game a lot of the time. So most of the time, I just have to keep myself focused and do what I need to do, and then I can worry about, talking a little trash. But it's usually just internal.
So, is it illegal if I was to pull the net down and hit the ball down at somebody?
Yeah, probably. I don't really see that going well.
What if the ref didn't see it though? Is it illegal then?
I mean, out of sight, out of mind, honestly.
uh, but you do got it looks like three more games. Like Mark said, you've got South Laurel, Rockcastle County, and Knox Central. So,
Mhm.
have you had I'm sure you've probably played all three of them, or at least two of them this season. So, what's your thoughts on your final three games before you jump into district?
Well, I don't think we've played Rockcastle yet, so to. I'm excited for that game and to see, you know, how they are. And I remember them being a good team last year, so I'm excited to play them. And I'm really just soaking it in because, like, senior night's on the 17th when we play Knox Central, and it's really kind of starting to hit me that, It's senior year. That's the last home game I'll play. So just really kind of trying to soak it all in and have as much fun as I can.
So before I get you back over to Mark, I'm gonna have to ask you this. It's your favorite place to eat at in Whitley
In Whitley County, oh gosh, I don't know. I eat a lot.
There ain't no
Uh,
good restaurants. I better not say that. I'll get sponsors going off on me.
I don't know. I'm really
We
liking
need some
McDonald's
restaurants. We need
right
a Gold Star chili. We need something here. We need some Chinese. We need some steakhouses.
I
Yeah,
really, really like the Brick Oven.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite places in Williamsburg. Yeah, they have really good salads and pizzas. I really like Brick Oven.
I've been invading the hibachi little wagon there by the gas station there. I can't get enough of it right
That's
now.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I
See,
like that.
Ever don't like that stuff.
Oh, I do.
just give me a good old fashioned Taco Bell, and I'm happy.
I also like some Taco Bell. I'm not picky.
See, see. But Mark, I'll let you ask a few more before I.
Oh, okay, Kira. They call me Mister Hard Hitter. So you ready for these hard hitting questions? I get to the point.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Okay. So the first question, we was talking about arm wrestling with Hayden there, and
Okay.
gotta ask you, if all you girls had an arm wrestling competition, who's gonna win that?
It would definitely be between me and Addison Seiler.
So after
Uh,
season, no, I better watch out. I would say after because some of you play other sports. But if you ever have an arm wrestling competition, we'll come down there and cover you. And
yeah. The
Better.
volleyball team's kind of jacked, to be
yeah, they
honest.
get the like the tables and all that
Uh-huh.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we all are in Coach Jacobs' strength training class at school. So we
Well,
lift
well,
weights every day, and
well,
we're kind of jacked.
Jacobs could turn you into the Incredible Hulk in about 2 weeks. I mean, the only thing I have to do is
Yeah,
look at him. Yeah,
yeah.
he's a different element. I've known him for a few years. I'm not gonna say Coach is old, but I'm gonna say I've known him a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. Next question is, and Edward actually chimed on that a little bit for me, but so I'll skip over that. We talked about senior night. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
crier. I'm a compulsive crier. I can't watch a sad cartoon without bawling.
Oh, me too.
How is the emotions and all that senior night? Are you gonna be able to keep composed? Is it gonna be like the announcements after the game, or are they gonna do it before the game? Or I mean, if they do it before the
So,
game, how are you going to compose yourself and get ready to play a game afterward? If you
well,
get as emotional as me,
I'm. I can't tell if I'll be the person to like be completely fine during senior night and then cry afterwards, or if I'll, cry right in the middle of it. But even if I do cry, I think it'll be more of a happy cry that like I'm thankful that I got to experience, the sport of volleyball, and I got so many years with my friends and all these good memories. And I think going into the game, that's what we'll be thinking about. We'll just be, happy to be there with each other.
what I tell every student athlete, yes, a chapter might be ending, but there'll soon be a new chapter starting. So
Hmm.
just good luck to you personally, your team.
Thank
Love
you.
Coach Halcomb, and I believe Edward's got a few things. Unless Allie's come back. Allie left the building and then she come back.
My phone overheated and it was at like 80%. It just crashed and then my internet crashed. So it just shut off.
Allie's a little emotional too. She probably won't admit it on the show, but I'll let the cat out of the bag for her. She's a crier at times, a
Oh,
little
I
bit.
definitely am. I'm a little
Yeah,
sensitive.
I
yeah.
am not a crier at all. I cry in the car when nobody can see me, so nobody can hug me or anything like that. I cry in the car so I can be left alone.
I cry everywhere. I'll cry anywhere,
He
especially
does.
especially when I'm begging for food. Sometimes you can cry and get free food.
You should see him at the Gaddy's bar when somebody gets in front of him. He starts crying and gets very violent.
Yeah, it normally gets me the pizza. Kara, one more question for Edward. And you seem like a straightforward young female. When you're at a buffet, is all rules of engagement gone? I mean, if it comes to get that last piece of pizza or a piece of chicken, it's pushing and shoving allowed. If
Okay,
you have
I was just talking about some Golden Corral earlier today.
to.
If it came down to it, I would fight for the last Golden Corral roll. Yes.
Yeah. So you get somebody to headlock, throw them clean across the aisle for it.
Yes, I
See,
would do whatever I could for that roll.
yeah. See, we definitely have to bring her back home.
That's just messed up, man.
All rules are gone when it comes to buffet. You know?
No. You gotta have some manners, man.
So I do got one final question for you before I show you a couple things we put together for you.
Okay.
So before the season started, was there a certain team or a certain tournament that you and your team had highlighted that y'all couldn't wait to play in?
Well, we obviously always look forward to playing Corbin. They're a really fun team to play. I love playing at Corbin. It's just a great atmosphere. Everything about it, I love it. And then we have also played Southwestern a couple times, and I really looked forward to that. They're a great team, and they're super fun to play too. You know, they're always fired up. They've got hard hitters. They've got a wonderful setter, and they're really fun to play. So I was excited for that.
So we do tend to put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that does come on our show. And after the show, I will send them to you and we will post them on our pages. But, you know, just for Mark, you know, I want to see which one you like the most.
Okay.
No,
It's number
no
one.
bribery, Mark.
It's number one.
Okay. I think I might like the first one better. But they're both really great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So you just can't ever go wrong with the first one, Mark.
Hey,
But,
Edward,
you know, I do want
to switch up the order on him, and he can't tell it, so he can't bribe nobody.
I was going to bribe with
That's
some
true.
Golden Corral to get her to say two, and I guarantee you'd probably say two then.
That probably would have worked. Yeah.
But I do want to thank you for taking the time to come on. And, you know, from everything that I've looked at from what you're doing, you're killing it. Your team's killing it. And, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. And looking forward to having you back on the show again.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark, Allie, you all got anything before we let her go?
I didn't call Coach Papaw, and I won't. Just for the record, I love you, Coach Halcom. I wouldn't call you that. Allie, I don't know if she's hearing us.
The rest of your season. I'm talking you out at this point, Mark. I really am.
Well, thank you all very much for having me.
Thank you.
All right. See ya.
See you. That's another great interview. Y'all ready to jump right into the next one?
We are ready.
All right. First off, thank you for taking the time to come on. And I got to ask you, how was practice today?
Well, thank you for having me. Practice was really good today. It was very beneficial, as always. We like to have very beneficial practices. That's always a goal of ours. We don't get many practices throughout the weeks because of all the games we play. But the days we do have practices, we take those in and we really focus on those days.
So I do got like a 8 to 10 second video that we kind of done the other day while we was up there covering your game. So we want to see how good we was doing one of y'all's chants.
Okay.
I don't know if it played or what, but
I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, I
Try
had
it
to
again.
like tap or sound to like hear it.
Yeah, try it again there.
That was good.
So
see.
did we have the rhythm?
Oh, that was good. Our younger girls, they love making cheers for us.
I I know we heard quite a few of them, and to have that style of energy, not only on the court but also your bench. How does that help y'all in the middle of the game?
Oh, it helps. We love having the girls on the bench. We tell them every game, we're all told they matter just as much as we do. Our energy and their energy have to match because they can give us energy if we're lacking, and they're very important. That we tell them that they play just as much of a role as we do, and we love their cheers and we love their support.
But Allie, Mark, before I ramble on,
How has your senior season been so far?
Senior season's been great. We've all enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so much. I would say this is one of my favorite seasons so far, just because of how much we've been able to do. I've really enjoyed it, and I just have loved spending time with everybody and then spending the time of what we've been doing. I've enjoyed it all very much.
So I know being a senior, like normally you're leading the team and you're one of the bigger leaders on the team, being a senior and stuff. How have you personally, being a leader, helped some of the younger ones that are coming up?
I just know that I remembered at the beginning of the year, I knew that as a younger girl, you can see older girls as intimidating. So that was mine and Ava's goal at the beginning of the season. We didn't want any intimidation. We wanted them to know how we cared about them and that how we were there for them. And then how we're also going to support them and then also help them when they need it. We're always there for when they need help. We feel like they can ask us questions, and that's what we wanted at the beginning of the year.
Mark, go for it. I know you have a lot to say.
Caroline, again, thank you for coming on. I know you got this thing called. Are you on fall break right now, or
No, we're not on fall break right now.
okay? So well, you do got a thing called school and senior year. You got a lot of things going on, but thank you for coming on. We've developed during this year a pretty good relationship with Coach Jones. Talk a little bit about her.
She's great. She's been such a blessing for us this year. We all love her so much. We tell her she's going to be the one that she's going to be invited to our weddings and she's going to come see our kids. And she says that's what she wants. That's the kind of coach she wants to be. And she absolutely is. She's been just that for all of us. She's our biggest supporter, but then she also knows when she needs to crack down on us and tell us the hard things. But she's always there supporting us, and she tells us she's never going to give up on us. So that all she asks is that we don't give up on her, and she's just great.
It takes a normal person. I'm not normal, so it takes me about 3 seconds, but it takes a normal person about 2 seconds to figure out how much you love your coach and how good the coach is to you. And there's a really tight relationship there. You can see it. And just at this point, they're absolutely just a super year, a great year. So just talk a little bit about the year itself.
This year we have been successful, and I think that's all come down to the preseason work that we put in this summer. Almost every weekend or week we had some kind of tournament or camp that we were going to, and that was all planned just for our benefit and our success for the season. And then when the season started, we didn't stop going to tournaments. We kept going to tournaments, camps, putting in the extra work, and that's just made this season one to remember because of all the extra work that we've been put in.
Whatever time when I go to a Corbin cover event, there's two things that gets me. Of course, the support that Yins get. Yins pack the house almost every time. Great support, and then I think maybe the world's loudest buzzer. Like, like it rocks your body. Does it actually rock your body at times? It's like
No, but sometimes whenever they leave it on too long, it seems like it could.
yeah, that like shakes my bones or something. I gotta ask you a couple little hard hit questions here. We were speaking about buffets earlier today. Uh, when you're at a buffet, a Gold Corral, a Mr. Gaddy's, or something like that, is it like all the rules of engagement are off? I mean, if you gotta get that last piece of pizza, are you gonna at all costs get it, or are you the type that say go ahead and get the piece?
Even though I do really like food, I don't think I would be the one to fight for the last thing at a
so you
Thank you.
let like an old broken down guy like me go get a piece of pizza
buffet.
first. Well, we know who we're taking out to eat.
But if it's you in front of me, Mark, I'm gonna trip you and push you down.
Okay,
Edward
if it is
would.
Mark,
But somebody else, I'm gonna let them go.
if it's Mark, I will gladly push him because there could be like a whole pizza there and it'll be gone as soon as Mark gets up there. So I just
Caroline, Caroline ain't pushing me. She's gonna allow me to get a piece of pizza because she knows I'm
a
old
piece.
and the clocks are ticking on me. And go ahead, old guy. And she's got her whole future ahead of her. Right? You could probably wait for the pizza, right? Oh, and we was also talking about arm wrestling. If you and your teammates had an arm wrestling competition, who you think would win?
I think that their first answer would be me, just because of how they
Oh
talk.
yeah.
But I think it would be between me and Shelby Carroll. We both we enjoy CrossFit, so I think I think there's a great another girl's surprise.
So would you be like over the top? You'd be like at the table. You'd be like trying to cycle 'em out, and doing all that stuff.
Oh, I would try everything to win. Absolutely.
But before I let Ever get you again, thank you for coming on. You've been a great sport, and I hope you get to feeling better. I believe Coach said you've been a little bit under the weather, so hopefully you're feeling better. But we know what Corbin's ultimate goal is. It's every team's ultimate goal. You just want to parade downtown Corbin, and I mean, what is it going to take for you to get that ultimate hardware?
I just think what it's going to take is continuous hard work, and we're going to have to keep getting better, not stay complacent. We always know that there's improvement and we can get better in multiple ways. And I think as long as we focus on the things that we need to improve on and not only look at the good, then we will continue to get better and reach our goal. But a good balance of both. You have to pay attention to the things you're succeeding at, but then also see what you need to improve on.
Absolutely, good answer. Good answer.
That's a great answer.
Um, Ever.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you have, is it 2 games remaining left on the season?
We have 3, and then we just added a try match, not this Saturday, but next. That's going to be at home. So we'll about. We added when we had cancellation. We wanted to add games, so we weren't missing out on any games.
Yeah, I believe Bria just recently canceled Onions, didn't they?
Yes, that was supposed to be tomorrow.
So, I'm gonna have to ask you because I'm currently looking at your schedule. You all have played in quite a few classics and tournaments against a lot of teams. So playing like that caliber of competition, how does that help you when it gets to like district and region play?
That caliber of competition, the most important thing that we could do to prepare for postseason play. The that you see in those competitions aren't teams that you would just see with a normal schedule, and you wouldn't schedule them in regular season. So seeing those teams that you don't know anything about and their talent level, just going into those games and then adapting in the situations and seeing what other teams are like from different areas, it's only going to make us better. And that's absolutely the fact that it has made us better this year.
So I'm gonna have to ask you this question. It's typically a Mark question, and again, he forgot to ask it. But during practices, there's a word called bonk that comes up on every time we have a volleyball player on there. So is there a certain player that you would or you wouldn't hit with the volleyball?
I couldn't think of one right now, not necessarily.
She's
What
taking the
about
ultimate
the
teammate
coach?
road. She don't want all out, locker room split up because she says she's gonna hammer somebody for ball. That's the right way out.
Hmm.
See, Carolyn agrees with.
But during practice, how many times does the coach get hit with the ball?
Sometimes more than others, but if it is, she's definitely surprised. It's usually something that comes out of the blue.
Well, you don't have to give names, but has somebody accidentally hit the coach with the ball? You don't have to give a name, and they've sort of tried to blame it on somebody else because they knew they was instantly in trouble.
It wouldn't. Not a time that I could remember someone blaming it, but usually if she gets hit, it's not by when we're scrimmaging or anything. It's usually if someone will be kicking a ball off the court. She's been hit a few times by a ball kicked off the court.
So is it like when that happens? Is it like one of them awkward moments of silence that you're like the whole gym? Oh,
Definitely.
So I'm gonna have to ask you in Corbin, what's your favorite place to eat at there?
I think I know this one.
In Corbin, I think a lot of people would say Mikasa, but I think I would have to pick probably Yamato's.
Interesting.
Hey, we got
Your
one of those
mother's
next
is
to
the best,
Kroger's.
Mark.
I thought it would be root beer stand, hands down. I thought,
Can't go wrong with the root beer stand.
Well,
It
you
is.
also gotta think root beer stands only around for so long, and like Motto's is always there and it's always good. So
Caroline, I don't even like root beer, but every time I go to root beer stand, give me a mug of root beer. I don't know. It's like Corbin tradition. Corbin root beer stand.
I do enjoy the root beer stand.
So do you go up the root beer down there too, or?
I like their root beer. I do.
See? So before I get you back over to Allie or Mark, I got to ask you this: are you a trash talker, or are you one of the ones you let your game do the talking? Because see, if it's me, I'm gonna pull the net down, throw the ball at Mark. Then if I hit him, I'm probably gonna pick him up, trip him, knock him back down, then come back over to my side.
He would.
I don't think that, at least the games I've played, it doesn't seem like there's much talk in volleyball, just because I think where there's the separation between the net. I know I don't have much. Like, I would never really say anything, but I don't really think there is much, but I definitely don't do any.
So like, you haven't ever thought one of them times when you've hammered the ball down and somebody's fell down to like point at them or anything like that, and like flex on them or anything?
There's thoughts about, oh, that was okay, good, I meant to do that, or great, or someone else like, yes, that's what we needed, but never, I wouldn't do anything.
Well, see, coach would be getting on to me all the time because if I'd done that, I'd be flexing, pointing. I'd be doing all that stuff. Now, I'm gonna have to ask you: is it illegal if I was to pull the net down and hit it over?
Yes.
Well, what if I like pointed and the refs didn't see me do it?
Well, I guess if they didn't see you do it, you get by with it.
I see her. But Mark, Allie,
Allie, you got
Go ahead,
anything?
Mark.
Okay. Carolyn, I've got to ask you on when we got on the subject of bonking the ball. And I've seen you firsthand and how hard you kill it. And have Williams ever hit the ball so hard it might have like went through the double doors, it might have hit the glass or something in the hallway or anything like that? Has that ever happened, or have you ever seen?
No, it's not happened. Sometimes on a serve you might see it happen, but not when we're hitting.
Yeah. Have you ever been measured or somebody put like a mile per hour deal on you on how hard you could hit a ball?
No, they haven't.
Yeah, you crush it when you get a hold of them. I would hate to have to hit that ball back. Uh, but my last two before I let Edward finish up with you. I know it's your senior year and it's winding down. There's always another chapter after this, but senior year, senior night, whenever you have it. I mean, what's the emotions for you personally that night?
So
I'm a crier. I'll cry my eyes out.
our senior night's tomorrow, and I
Uh,
really don't know what my emotions will be. I can see it going either way. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I don't. I know in previous years I've cried over other people's senior nights, so I'm not sure if I will or not.
So you one that like, okay, I got to cry out. It's time to get serious again. Time to play ball or something, or
Oh,
is it like,
if I ended up crying, I would immediately flip the switch and then get back to
yeah,
game, ready to play.
absolutely. And Edward, you've seen her too, but anybody that hasn't seen this young female, she's you hear it all the time. Ava is to coaches on the court, and I see that a lot out of you. You're talking to girls, and you're like a coach on there too. But you know your stuff. It's pretty obvious. But what's the next chapter for you? Of course, you're a very talented athlete, but what's the next chapter for you?
Right now, I'm not completely sure what next year will look like. Um, if nothing else, I know that I plan to go into nursing school. I'm not sure college, anything else, but I know as of right now, my plan will be to go.
Absolutely, and you'd be a really really good one at it. And I know Kara was talking about that too. Both of you are really bright females, and you would know your stuff. And definitely you'd be another one. I'm an old fogey. Of course, I definitely trust you on taking care of my health. But again, thank you for coming on. I know you got a thing called a senior year, and whenever you give us your time, we're very thankful because I'm sure that there's a blue million things you would rather do than say here jabber about us and pushing people down at Golden Corral. But we do thank you for coming on and keep it rolling. Your team and you personally, you're all very impressive there, and just keep it going.
I appreciate you having me.
So I do got one final question before I show you a few things we put together for you. So before the season started, was there a certain team or like tournament you couldn't wait to play in the most?
What I was looking forward to the most was probably bluegrass games. That was the biggest thing. That was a tournament that we went to this summer. Getting to see the level of competition there, that was definitely one of the tournaments that I look forward to the most there. But just any team that we can see a higher skill level, different from our area, that's what I was looking forward to the most this year.
So we do tend to put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that does come on our show, and this is kind of our way of saying thank you. And Mark's trying to bribe you to pick number two,
No, I got some dust in my eyes.
but this is our way of saying thank you for listening to us ramble on, and just kind of want to get your thoughts on which one you like. And after the show, I will send them to you and to your coach.
I like that. They both look great.
So out of the two, is there one that you like better than the other?
I think I would have to pick the first one, but they both look great.
Well, I do appreciate it. See, there's nothing wrong with the original. He always wants me to change every show, but
If I had a batting average on this 1 and 2 stuff, my batting average would probably be about 13 or something like that.
Lower
They,
than that, it'd be like straight 0.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm 0 for 3 tonight, and I didn't even get a walk or anything. At least come up there and hit me by the pitch or something like that. Yeah.
But from everything that I've seen, the times I've got to cover ends this season, you're killing it. Your team's killing it, and just keep doing what y'all are doing, and looking forward to. Hopefully, I heard you say that y'all had a tournament going on or a try game going on, and not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So hopefully we can get back up there to coverings up there, and best of wishes for the remaining part of your season.
Thank you. I appreciate you all having me on here.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, what can you say? Three great student athletes, 3 great interviews tonight.
We got the easy job. Allie's having a rough night. I think it's about twice her computer dropped, and yeah. But Allie's a gamer. She's got it back together, back rolling again.
Well, I'm fixing
Hopefully.
to have to ask Allison to do me a huge favor because I am a little old. I can't see as good as I once can. I'm pulling a mark
Yeah,
here.
probably.
Yeah, and Allie's probably got about 17 pages of notes in her hand right there. She always has to put together a book and a half on each.
So since you're going to be the one reading them off, what sport do you want to start with?
I thought I saw Allie squinching her eye a little bit, so maybe age is starting to kick in on her now.
Hey,
One
I have
eye
like
open.
I think I have like 2% of my vision left at this point.
Yeah.
I'm legally blind, so I don't know about that.
Well, I'm blind in one eye and can't see out the other, so.
You can see perfect when it comes to FA though.
All right. Well, you want to start off with football?
I'm fine with whatever. The top 5 must see: Travis Moten from Fern Creek, 12 sacks; Vince Smith, Middlesboro, 73 total tackles; Landry Call from Leslie County with 1,309 passing yards; Maxton Meadows from Henderson County with 10 interferences, I guess; James Jack from Paducah Tillman with 1,912 passing yards.
So, Landry Call it. I mean, it's hard not to see what he's doing. I mean, he's got double digits in passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and I had to give a little bit more justice and actually put out passing yards for him this time instead of just letting everybody see how many touchdowns he's got. I mean, through the few games that he's played, he's already at 1,309 total passing yards, which, if I ain't mistaken, I'd have to go back and double check it, but I think he's averaging over 200 passing yards a game.
I know Landry and Vincent's like top 10 in the state with what they do too. That's on there, and then they're number 1 in their actual 1A or 2A or whatever they're in.
So he was at 218.2 total yards per game in passing. And yes, Vincent Smith, 73 total tackles. I would have to go back and double check, but he was one of the state leaders in, total tackles.
He still is. I checked him out. He was.
But Mark, you got any thoughts?
See, that's the reason why we got Allie on this show. We love her to death, but of course we love her, but we also love them 55 pages of notes that she's got on there, the book and a half of prep that she put in. Because, yeah, if you don't give her about a 5-day notice, I don't know if I can squeeze it in 5 days because she's got to write the book and a half on the show. But you're not going to get her on stats or anything like that. But she puts the work in. But these fellers do too. Landry, you spoke about Landry Vincent. Not seen any of these guys firsthand, but it's hard for me not to look at the Meadows from Henderson County and see 10 interceptions. I mean, again, that would be a process for Allie to look in at, but I was sure with 10 interceptions, that's probably a state leader. We're right up there on the top of that.
Yes, when I looked at that, Mark, if I am not mistaken, he was either he was in the top 5 for sure.
But it's solid list, and but again, we say it every week. This ain't our top 5 players. It's just people you need to go out and watch, and we can
He's
name
actually number 1.
yeah. We can name 30 people out of the 13th region by itself, and Edward Alley, I'm sure you would agree with me that we could put on a must-see list too. This thing changes from week to week. There's talent everywhere.
William Zeke from South Laurel, 14 goals and 13 assists. Andrew Tomlinson, if that's how you say it, Somerset with 25 assists. TJ Smith from Fleming County, 34 goals. Brian Bentley from Shelby Valley with 407 saves. And Ray Splon from Harlan County, 14 goals and 2 assists.
So I have got to see Ray firsthand, and watching him out there on the field, he is quick as lightning. But the best thing about that Harlan County team is, if the coach was on here, he'd tell you the same thing. It's all about a friendly competition before the game starts, and they always have fun during the game. And we've had Liam Zeke on one of the shows before, Mark. And the thing that stands out the most right there is 14 goals and 13 assists. So he is assisting his teammates as much as he's trying to score. So that makes him a very well-rounded player.
I look at that, Edward, and Allie, you can harp in on this if you want to. Again, this is a Allie type question here, but the Bentley dude from Shelby Valley, 407 saves. That's unreal. Has anybody scored a goal against Shelby Valley all year? That's unreal. Again, that is stuff that you see in FIFA soccer. 25 with the made up athletes and stuff like that. Of course, folks, everybody has left me all of a sudden, but a solid
Well, I'm
list.
still here.
I'm still
Yeah,
here.
but Bryson Bentley, that's pretty impressive. 407 saves.
I was trying to check and see what he is or no.
But now it's actually at 429 saves, and he averages 22.6 saves per game. And I was actually trying to look at the complete shutouts too, but
Has anybody even scored a goal on Shelby Valley all year? I mean,
I,
that's
I mean,
unreal.
with that many saves, I mean that's tough. That's about as simple as I can put it. Tough.
I think Allie's looking up something. It looks like there's no way I can read that. That's an Allie read there.
Okay, I got it. That guy from Shelby Valley is 429 now, and the guy in front of him is 607. And state, he's number 2. That's what I told. Okay, for girls, Emily Burnett from Prestonburg, 31 assists. Adriana Rowe from Harlan County, 35 goals. Autumn Sawyers, Whitley County, 34 goals. Sophia Stevens, Boyd County, 13 games shutout. Tori Robertson, Somerset, 63 goals.
So just so you know, the 13 game shutouts, I couldn't put that completely on there, but that is 13 the goalkeeper shutouts. So that means out of the games that they played, 13 games they was guaranteed that she shut them completely out. But Mark, you've got to see Autumn Sawyers firsthand. I've got to see Adriana firsthand. And, the thing that sticks out to me is, she's got 35 goals on the season. But, if I'm not mistaken, she is also just a freshman. And she also broke the school record for the all-time goals scored in a single game. She scored 10 in a single game, and then I watched her firsthand score 7 in another game.
Wow.
Autumn, it's like one of them questions. It's like, what don't you like about her and her family, and just love all of them, and developed a relationship with Coach over there, and just I mean, she just not only a student athlete, we say it on here all the time, just just a well-rounded young woman, and always, that picture you see right there, that smile. Whenever she gets off that soccer field, that smile comes right back on her face. But when she's on the soccer field, she don't smile much. But she just a really really good person, and you just have to be a fan of hers, have to be a fan of Adriana. But just looking at that, it's hard not to look at that number 5 there, the Robinson girl from Somerset, 63 goals. I mean,
Well, it's actually updated because I'm assuming they had a game yesterday, and she is sitting now officially at 69 goals.
yeah, I mean, again, we're going to be working Allie to death. I'm sure she's sitting there studying stats and all-time records and all that stuff right down. She knows what I'm saying is truth, or she wouldn't have giggled right there. But we're talking sack geeks. Allie takes it next level, but now the 69 goals in one season, I don't know if that would be a state record for a year or anything like that. But my goodness, you would think it would have to be in that conversation.
I think she's close. I think it's 75 last time I checked, but I have no clue.
So she's probably going to break the state record.
I think it depends on the area more than likely, because it's ranked differently.
And this
is the volleyball side.
Yeah, Sophie Durfer from Franklin County, 613 kills. Ava Arnett from Pineville with 123 blocks. Ava Maggette from Corvin, 547 assists. Isabella Hayes from Allura County, 807 assists. Ashton Evans, Harlan County, 301 digs.
I'm gonna harp in on this, Edward. I've seen 2 of these firsthand. You've seen 3. I've seen 2, and Ava. I'm gonna go to Ava, and there's a lot of good kids around here that good assists and stuff like that. But now she barely seldom puts up a bad ball up there. She's almost on cue, exactly where that ball needs to be, each and every time setting up, for the big kill by Caroline there. It just it's almost like that they've been doing that for 30 years. And just she's a big reason why Corbin's been as good as they have been this year. I also saw another move that was catching my eyes there on the net by Ava. And, I saw her do it a couple of times in the game last night. She does like a spin like chip deal like behind her. It's hard to explain. Ever maybe you could explain it easier. I know you've seen it too, but you don't see it much.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and you don't see it much, but I'm not sure exactly how to explain it. You'd have to be there to see it, but I mean, it was first off, I couldn't do it.
No.
That's for sure. But I do want to, I want to hit the number 5, Ashton Evans from Harlan County with 301 digs. I have watched her firsthand. I've got to see her a couple times, and just the way that they play, they play as one unit, and it's not like just one player. And Isabella Hayes, I've watched her in another sport. I've covered her in another sport at LaRue County. And, she was knocking home runs after home runs after home runs. But I have to say, 807 assists, that is also a phenomenal number.
Absolutely.
But Mark, Allie, y'all got anything before we close it off here?
Allie's in hard thought right now. She's probably studying stats and getting state records, and probably within 5 to 10 minutes on her chat group, she'll have every state record for the past, since 1906 or something like that put on there. But
What was the 63 goals one? Who was that for? Or whatever.
Tori Robinson.
State record or whatever.
That's Tori Robertson, Somerset. But
Was it goals?
yep. Do y'all have any final thoughts before we bring it to a close?
um, you know, soccer's in full fledged tournament time right now. I think North got a big win there. I think OBI did. A lot of teams punching their tickets. I think Whitley County girls tonight go against North for the district championship. There's a lot of soccer on, and it's win or go home time for them, and it's soon going to be win to go home for these volleyball teams. Also, we're counting it down in football also, but again, one season ends, another one begins. Before you know it, we'll be trying to throw the ball in the hoop. So again, that's the fun thing about sports. But again, uh, me personally, the sad thing about sports is you've got a winner and you got a loser, and there's going to be one team that's going home happy. There's going to be another team that ain't going to be going home as happy, and all these teams put in the same amount of work. All these teams needs the equal amount of credit, and you feel so happy for the team that's over there celebrating, and then you look over there, and then you start to feel so bad for the team that's not celebrating. But I wish that I could say all these teams could win a state championship, but that's the I don't know the word that you could say about sports. You're gonna have that winner, you're gonna have that loser, but all these teams are very talented, and there really ain't no losers out there. And just that time of year, and just want to wish every team the best of luck, and we're pulling for everybody. I wish everybody would say.
I agree with you 100%. Allie, you got any final thoughts?
No, not really.
I'm going to close it off like normal, kind of just like what Mark said. All these student athletes put in all kinds of work. And, if you don't have nothing to do during the evening on a weekday, weekend, go out and promote your student athletes. But from everybody here at the Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media, I want to thank y'all and God bless.